Hello and welcome to the online training library. This is the very first video that kind of outlines what we cover off in these videos and how we go about it. So I hope this gives you a little bit of an overview of how we go about putting these videos together and kind of some of the things that we cover and a little bit of the flow. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first and foremost, these videos and the training and skilling that we try to provide for you, it's really all about you and helping you be as successful as you possibly can be. Um, Around you, there's a few things that kind of hang off that we're going to kind of cover off, and hopefully that as a bit of a team, we can help support and make the business as good as it can be. So first and foremost, through these videos, we want to look at the best practices, and instead of trying to figure out how to do each and everything ourselves for the first time, we want to be able to try to leverage some of the people that have come before us and try to leverage some of their ideas. Two, we're going to talk about some expectations and just, I guess, being clear around how things need to work to a certain extent, just so we can get some early wins and make sure that you understand, well, what does good look like, and are we heading in that direction? And that obviously changes over time. Three, we want to talk about customers and in real clear language and putting ourselves in the customer's shoes and being able to talk about it in terms of how to help people, how to provide benefits to them, and how to make business successful, but also how to make our customers successful, and then how to make you successful. And four, how what we do day in, day out, our actions and behaviors, how does that relate to the overall team? And really, the things that we're going to cover off, they're going to fall into probably one of these five areas: something about yourself, best practices, expectations, customers and the benefits to the customers, and finally, how what we do interacts and impacts our fellow team members. Um, when we've been laying out the approach for these for our training and skilling and trying to get people up to speed, we probably are looking at a few things, and we've tried to tackle this in a slightly different way than what you might expect, and that kind of really kind of coincides around how the sort of people that we generally recruit. So first and foremost, this basic curve is how we ultimately want things to basically flow. So what we find is when people first start off, especially when they come from outside the industry that we're currently working in, if we don't provide a reasonable amount of structure up here when they first start, it's very easy to get frustrated and not feel like success is tangible. So, and if you think about this as kind of months in roll, we find that first 6 months, and we'll talk about this in a little bit later, but that first 6 months is really critical. Now, the first 3 months, you kind of get on board, you go through induction. There's a fair amount of other online training that you have to work through just to kind of get the basic skills. So that kind of goes pretty fast. And it's the next 3 months that really things really start to come together, and hopefully that's where you're watching some of these videos, and then past about the 12-month mark, things should be going pretty well. If they're not moving pretty well, kind of post 6 months, there's probably a little bit of an issue, and then past 18 months, well, by that point you should be an absolute pro at what we do here, and things should be going pretty well, and you should know pretty much. Someone shouldn't really need to be asking you what to do or telling you what to do every day. You should pretty much know, and things should just travel along pretty smoothly. And you should ideally probably start to get ready for your next role even a little bit before that. The reality is often it looks more like this, and this is probably what naturally feels right. So someone comes on, and I don't know, we kind of send everyone to training. People are kind of saying, well, kind of go figure it out, find your own kind of your natural rhythm to things, and then things start not happening quite as smoothly as they should, or everyone thinks they should. So kind of the structure starts to get applied, and we kind of end with kind of really formalized structure because we've kind of struggled to get to the results as quickly as we would like. So this is probably normal. What we want to do is we actually want to flip that on its head. The other thing that actually happens quite a bit is more like this, where we start off with a reasonable amount, and then it goes up, and then it goes down, then everyone gets quite frustrated, so then it goes way up, and then it goes way down, and it comes up, and then we kind of do a little curly Q and around the ground. So at the end of the day, we want to avoid this. We would much rather have it be nice and smooth and not so up and down. Now, as I kind of put some marks in there before, but really the first 6 months is really key from everything I've experienced. That if we don't have some success happening in the first 6 months, probably things are not going to go well in the future. That doesn't mean things can't be fixed, but the first 6 months really, to me, is the absolute kind of critical time frame. The next 6 months, so into 12, at this point we go from kind of storming and forming into performing. So things should be going pretty smoothly here. Start to get a little bit of rhythm. You don't have to start. You start having to think about what you're doing every day. It just kind of comes naturally. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. You don't have to think about riding a bicycle every day. It just kind of happens. That generally is the time frame. Some people move a little bit faster. Some people move a little bit slower, and that's okay. And then finally, we kind of put that hash mark in there at that 12-month plus or 18-month plus time. So anytime kind of past 12 or even past 8 months, based on where someone started and what they want to achieve, we really want to try to get at least you get ready to start thinking about the next role, thinking about what kind of skills you need, making sure that before you go into the next role, you're well prepared. You're 75, 80% ready for that next role. So once you're actually in it, you're going to walk in there and it's going to be very much the same. There's going to be a few things that you learn in that first kind of 3 to 6 months. But by about 6 months, things are going to be going pretty well, hopefully, and then you can kind of go on and to bigger and better things. So that's our desired approach. Again, it doesn't always happen, but that's what we're trying to shoot for. And these videos and the coaching and teaching that comes along with it, hopefully, is going to be part of that overall structure. So more on that in terms of the detail of that later, but again, hopefully you get the idea. So when we're asking you to do something quite specific up front, it's not that we're trying to be difficult. It's really trying just to help you be as successful as quick as possible, and that you don't have to go through that kind of point of frustration to go, well, I just don't quite get it. I don't understand, or I'm trying things and it's not working. What we've found is kind of going through this stuff over and over. The difference between success and failure can be just a few different words, or different phrasing, or a little bit of confidence, or a million different things. So we're trying to isolate as many of those as we can, and helping you really. When we look at kind of the capability of people and kind of the approach that we're going to work through on these videos, we break it down into 6 capabilities. And I'm going to go through these quite quickly now, and then over time we're going to break into these in a lot of detail and go through a lot of content per capability. So the first one is will. So we can't create that. That's something that you pretty much bring to the table, and we define that as attitude and activity. So how much do you do? So how active are you? And do you have a favorable outlook on life and towards customers and to what you're doing here? Second, kind of the skills elements are the systems. So this is just around, can you confidently manage and work through the system? So if someone asks you to do something, you have to open up a book and flick through it, or can you just quickly go to the screen that you need and get things done, and just be confident around that. So obviously you start off with not having a lot of knowledge, and at the end you should be able to do it from absolute memory. 2 are the products, and we break product knowledge down into kind of 3 elements. So 1 is the features. That's kind of the rates or the fees, things like that. 2 are benefits. So what does it actually mean to a customer? And finally is the bundle, or maybe bundle is the wrong word, but basically just helps us how do we kind of look at different products and how do they interact with each other, and what different products kind of work in parallel or in tandem with each other. Third is the ability to have a conversation around the products and around the benefits of those products. Fourth or fifth, is the discipline. So when we think about discipline, is the operating rhythm, or your operating rhythm, how organized you are just in terms of your workspace. How do you make sure you do some of the basic things consistently? So how do you say things consistently with them still sounding fresh and exciting each and every time? So think of there's a million different examples of discipline, but we'll get into this in more detail later. And 6 is relationships. So the 5th skill, relationships. And the relationships are all about, at the end of the day, nobody is successful by themselves in our organization. So it takes a whole team of people to be successful. And your relationships, both internally and externally, are going to be absolutely key for your ongoing success. And those are the 6 capabilities. And like I said, we're going to go through a lot of detail, but this is the framework. Everything kind of hangs off this framework. And when we talk about these things, at the end of the day, you're going to have different levels of knowledge across those 6 capabilities at any one time, and that's okay. But what we're trying to do is kind of as we go, we try to master the different capabilities kind of vertically. So we start off and make sure the will's there. Then we go through the systems, the products, the conversation. At that point, you'll get some velocity. So you need to have more discipline, and you'll need to kind of leverage those relationships a bit more. And you can actually offer something to some of those relationships as well. So when we focus on kind of the mastery, we'll focus on it in that kind of order. But like I said, obviously you're not going to just learn systems and then products and then conversations. These things kind of work kind of organically. But again, the mastery hopefully we'll focus on the mastery in that order. Last thing, and just as always, and probably a key focus for us is just making sure the behaviors and activities right, and then the outcomes and the relationships and all those things will follow along from that. So if we just get the basics right and we get them done really smoothly and evenly, then what we find is over and over and over that the results just kind of flow from that. Finally, just real quickly, we'll just touch on our kind of core teaching and coaching template. So this is our core kind of, I guess, coaching template, if you will. We break it down into 3 areas: teach, coach, and action. So the teach are the new concepts and skills that we're going to discuss in each one of our videos or training programs or training environments. 2 is the coaching area, and the coaching area is something that we might provide feedback on in a one-on-one conversation. It might not be new content. It's going to be more. We talked about something last week. How did you go? I heard you say this. You try this. So again, it's just kind of tweaking and reviewing some of those elements. And then finally, our action. So ideally, we have a SMART objective, and it's basically what are we going to do. So we've sat down, we've had a conversation, we've covered off a couple of topics. And this is what we expect. We're going to try 6 of these. We're going to make 10 phone calls. We're going to do 2 of those. We're going to do another training course, whatever it is. But the actions are basically the outcomes from that. We have a signature there for the coach and the team member, and date it, and we put that into our training books. And you need to have at least 1 TCA done every fortnight, just to make sure that you're keeping up. And there's obviously a huge amount to learn, so that shouldn't be hard to cover off 24 conversations a year at all. So looking forward to delving into more detail, and I hope this video just helps you kind of get a quick overview of how we're going to go about it, and give you we'll give you some more details in the future. Fantastic. As always, please provide your comments and give us some feedback. All the documentation will be available to you through another way. But I hope all success to you, and we'll talk to you soon.